When we talk about how this project feels now that it's finished, we just think it's a really good reflection of our clients. It's just got this lovely light confidence. It just feels like this relaxed warm hug. My name's Jason, and together with my wife Rach, we are Light Architecture, and this is Boa Vista. So Newtown is the first suburb outside of Hobart as you come up the hill, and I think when it was settled originally it would have been quite the grand suburb. So the house has got excellent bones. The clients were living here when we first came to the project, and it's a Federation home built in around 1910. The clients have a lot of personality, they're quite bubbly and quietly confident, and I guess that's some of where the initial conceptual thinking came from. So in this project, we really leaned into colour. It was a really fun part of the process, and one of the clients, their outfits they use for their day-to-day kind of work attire is very fun. So I think that's to a large degree where a lot of the confidence came from in colour selection. For example, in this project we've got Dulux Pale Tendril, Dulux Nile Reed, which is a much stronger, more confident colour we've used to colour block joinery in the living spaces. So Dulux Natural White has been used internally on ceiling surfaces and also the main arch. Dulux Vivid White has been used predominantly on the exterior and the windows, both internally and externally. Dulux Cosmic Aura has been used both in the bathrooms but also in the girls' bedrooms. And then one of the really strong bold features of the project is the Dulux Hot Flamingo Balustrade that's used on the staircase, and that's offset really nicely by Dulux Clay Pipe in the main bedroom. I was lucky enough to be on the Dulux study tour in 2018. Our tour went to London, Berlin and Milan. The really lovely thing was at the end of the day, we'd be all crammed into a taxi going back to dinner or something, and just the car would be buzzing with conversation about the things that we'd experienced during the day and how that was an incredible experience. And one of the amazing things that's come out of it for me is I didn't expect the ongoing support both from the alumni group that I went away with, but also the expanding alumni group of that Dulux study tour. And it really helps us both directly and indirectly be really confident in our practice. One of the biggest moves in the project, an internal passage, and looked at the bathroom. So simply by taking out the bathroom and then a small wall removal between living spaces and kitchen has really opened up that sense of arrival when you come into the space. And then as we move west through the plan, you start to walk out into the new part of the extension. Where that threshold happens, we've deliberately left the weatherboard, so there's a really obvious reference to the original building fabric. So upon entering the house, immediately you can see the dining room that's framed by the beautiful Federation arch. Adjacent to the dining room is the kitchen space that's washed in beautiful tones of green, and connected to that also is the living room space. And then moving back through the more private spaces of the home, we walk past the kids' bedroom spaces and the shared bathroom, and then move through the threshold into the new space to the rear of the property. The interior material palette largely reflects the natural stone and tiles that were picked in the project. So the use of green in the kitchen largely happened through a semi-late design decision when the client fell in love with a stone sample we had laying around in our office on a chance visit. And we decided that was a really good decision because as you look into the kitchen space and out the kitchen window, you see the beautiful green stone and natural veins running through that link beautifully into the exterior northern privacy screen, which is a lovely vegetated green wall. It's hard to pick a favourite part of the house, but there's two that stand out. One is the dining space and how that's really connected. Removing that bathroom's just totally connected the space socially. And the second one is the feeling you get as you ascend up the staircase in that beautiful kind of velvet burgundy. And because of the different light qualities as you move up through the staircase, it's a real kind of sense of arrival when you go into the main bedroom. The project was a really personal project for us. We knew of the clients professionally before taking on the project, and what I'm most proud of is the confidence that they gained in us, but also they just cared so much about the detail. The clients cared so much about the outcome, and everyone on the team really cared, and you can see that in the final product.